Good morning, traders. The members video. We're taking a look at SPX, and then we'll check out SPY and why I chose the hedges that I did, and we'll take a look at Apple real quick too, because Apple and Tesla, because we know that they're probably going to pull away from each other if Apple does play as a catalyst to the upside, which it's holding up relatively well. And if our triangle, our equilibrium here continues to the upside, then it's this has the most, Apple has the most potential to rise, in my opinion, the most gunpowder. Okay, so here's the daily time frame on SPX. We're still looking for out here in late June to be our daily cycle low. And so we're starting to see the peaking here. Is that the case yet? It can be a right-hand translation. This can continue higher. And I will tell you, if this continues higher to reach all-time highs and just a little bit above, by the time we get to this area, it may be a really sharp move to the downside. I've seen that happen before. It's happened in NVDA. I'll actually show you the example. And also, NVIDIA, I don't think is going to play a part. It's holding up today, but I don't think it's going to play a part in the upside either. So I still think it's safe to short NVIDIA. So back, there was a huge gap down. Right here. So NVIDIA started getting lower highs here, not lower lows, but it was in an equilibrium as well. We got to this point back here in January, and look at the falling phase here, declining phase. Price was still trying to hold up and really deep retracement, and by the time we got to the daily cycle low, it just slammed. I mean, it was right in the reach of it, and then the next day, boom, huge move. I think it was possibly a 10% move that day. So it's very possible for that to happen again. Now, let's get back to SPX. Let's go down to the 2 hour. And really, the 130 minute, we changed that. And really, there's only, here's the cycle for the 2 hour. Here's that 2 hour cycle coming up here in mid-June. So let's see if this breaks higher or lower. And this, it really all comes down to this here. I mean, we can just dig in close, draw your downtrend, draw your uptrend, and you can hardly see that candle here, but support held at the 786 again. And what this is, if this holds nicely and continues higher, this is a classic trading pattern once again. We'd had the same pattern. I'll show the both of them here. Here was the classic trading pattern where you peak above, you trade around, you get back below, get back above it, and hold it. So we held on for a couple 2 hour candles here at the 62% retracement. We just did that again. All right, we peaked above, got below, and we're above again and holding. So if this breaks the downtrend line, we're going to see this move higher, okay? And not only higher, but we've been in a sideways move. Let me pull out of here. We've been in a sideways move here in a couple inside days for 3 weeks. So this thing's going to move. Okay, and it's going to, if we break that downtrend line, it's likely that, let's go over to SPY, and we can have that target. Here's our last wave higher scenario. And you see our target for wave 3 is 611.73. And what's the all-time high? Right around 613. So it brings us right up to all-time highs. And this would be a 1, 2, and it's going to have a nice move to 611. That probably will happen within next week, I would say a good 2 weeks to happen, maybe 1 or 2 weeks. It could go straight up there by this end of this week, but possibly maybe into Tuesday, turn around Tuesday, get a little consolidation and continue to all-time highs if it breaks out to the upside. All right, we're getting to that point where there's that bear scenario invalidation, and clearly that will be confirmed over the next high. All right, so we have Powell at 1 p.m. This could determine which way we go, and there's still a bullish scenario where price falls and still can go higher, but we'll work that out each day, each and every day. At this point, it's holding all of the slim ribbons, and this one's going sideways. It's a 2 hour. It's in consolidation. If we break to the upside, obviously this will roll higher, but on the daily time frame, it's holding up very well on the slim ribbons. So we're in a positive configuration. Let's see what happens here. And I chose the target. Excuse me. I chose the strike price. Let's go to the 65 here. On SPY, because the options expected move is 599. Now I chose 601, but this has been a very tight situation, so it's going to break higher. It's likely to tag and break higher than 599. So we'll let those play out, and then I'll roll those positions as more insurance to that 611 target. So that's the game plan. If price breaks to the upside, we'll have those beautiful probably Apple as well. We'll have those beautiful wins on the on those hedges, and then we'll roll them to 611 because we know that we're likely not to stop here. As a matter of fact, this is going to be the largest and strongest wave of this near-term pattern if price breaks higher. Okay, looking at Apple. I'm not going to go through this whole thing again, but Apple likely will get some sort of catalyst sometime this week, maybe tomorrow, maybe today, and just pop. And it should really start dragging things higher. Again, NVDA already broke down from its wedge. Okay, so broke down from its wedge. It's back testing right now. All right, now it can have this is very shallow so far. So it can have another move a little bit lower and then another ABC. So this could be an A, B, and ride up that wedge just a little bit higher. All right, and if things get bullish, so that will probably be the situation. But I don't think it's going to make a new high. I think it's going to backtest this wedge a little bit higher. That's what SPX already did. And it could make it up to that options expected move. Now, I'm just giving you the upside scenario if that happens coming up. You know well that I'm into the shorts, and I want to protect those, and I want to be able to add on to those as price shows us what it wants to do. And here's Tesla showing real weakness, and that's really playing out. It's really the only one that's really playing out well for us. It's starting to roll over. We're getting that yellow signal, so it was a nice catch on the early trades here. Now we're back into a lot of these positions that we started scaling into back here. And our in-out spread, I believe, was on the 25th. I think our in-out spread was a little bit lower, around 325. And here's our trade that we put on with the debit put vertical. All right, that put spread. And here's where it's in the money. So we're getting real close to it. Happens real fast. And we'll take off our profit at whatever it's at. It could be a 60%, it can be an 80% win, whatever it's at when it gets all the way in the money. So probably when we start testing the gap here is when we'll take off this vertical spread. Okay, a lot of information in this time, and we'll look for what price action shows us. All right, thanks. We'll see you in the next video.